Conference will now be recorded.
So the first thing is we need the AWS account so that we can use that AWS as learning so that all of your practice you'll be doing within the AWS free account. So AWS gives a very generous free account. So to get that, you just need to go to aws.amazon.com/free. If you go here, it is called free tier. The free tier is nothing but uh, any product we always want to do a trial, right? A trial account, a trial period. So Amazon also allows people to experience Amazon cloud so that they would get to know the features, and that too free of cost, so that they can decide whether they would really want to use that or not, right? That's a standard practice. So the same thing has in the AWS. Now, uh, what do you call, there are a lot of free products. Like if you see, you get 200 USD in credits, you get free usage, and then yeah, if you create workloads beyond the credit threshold, yes, they'll charge you. And not every AWS service is accessible. Okay, but yes, it's still a pretty generous account, and uh, what you call, AWS allows you to experience a lot of services with this $200 USD in credits. Okay, and they give up to 6 months. Earlier, it used to be a lot more generous, but I I feel people were a little bit of taking a lot of advantage of it, and AWS has reduced a little bit now. But earlier, it used to be a lot more generous, but that is fine. Okay, so these are all the services Amazon allows you: EC2, S3, RDS. Okay, and what is it? Yeah, you can see how it is going to use. But yeah, the first thing is we all need to have this account. If you do not have, I request you to sign up to this account. So you can come to aws.amazon.com/free, click on create account, and then it will ask you to verify an email. I just created a new mail address. It's asking a safe password. Let me ensure I remember it. Just give me a minute. Let me ensure I save this password. Just a minute so that I do not lose it. Yeah. So you just give the password, you come into this page. Okay. So you'll come into sign up for AWS page, and you need to click choose free plan. Do not choose paid plan, choose free plan. Yeah, if you see after 6 months, your account will close automatically. So it's going to be very simple. You don't need to worry much. Okay. Click choose free plan. Yeah, it'll ask you to give some personal information and give some random details. I don't think you need to give everything. So I think that is enough. You don't need to give a lot. I think phone number is mandatory. So give some random number. Yeah, you also need to give a card. Okay. And why do we need a card? Because Amazon wants to verify whether you are a valid human or not. Okay. So otherwise, it thinks that bots are creating these accounts because you know, right? These days, bots will create a lot of accounts. So that's why it will ask you to. Let me give them. Give me a minute. I'll just stop the shooting. Sorry, but yeah, this is a little bit personal detail, so that's why let me pause a minute. If someone is also there, you also, if you don't have account, I would encourage you to go ahead and try it out, so that if there is an issue, I can let you know. Yeah, normally I don't ask you to try along with me, but yeah, this time you can do it off. So once you do that, it comes here. This is step 5, step 4, and step 3 was giving your card details. It will validate. Charge you. It will charge you nominal. I think if it is India, it charges you 2 rupees. If you are from what you call from other US or something, it will charge you $1. But again, it gives you back because to check whether that account is what you call something a working account or not. What is this? Individual. Yeah, you're not. Oh my god, he's asking too many details. Everything he's asking. Whatever it is. What is he asking? I think this many details were not there earlier. I think he is taking too many details now because I've created hundreds of accounts earlier. So yeah, he has stepped up his security a lot. Why does AWS need this many details? It's taking more time, guys. I thought this is simple, but okay, he's asking too many details. That is fine. I have a local Ubuntu. Let me sign up and then let me do it. But I think we will want to use Red Hat. Give me a minute. There's too many personal details. Yeah, finally I completed. Yeah, so it just tells that yeah, you have activated your account, and after that you give the personal details. It'll ask you one final step, which is your number verification. It mandatorily expects you to provide your phone number, and it sends you a one-time password, and then it completes it. So this is something you can directly click on, go to AWS Management Console. So this is going to be your homepage of your AWS account, and yeah, it gives you some small walkthrough, but you can completely skip now. So this is going to be a console, and to log into this console at any point of time, you can do aws.amazon.com/console. So this is always going to be your home page, okay? Because AWS Management Console itself is an application from Amazon where you will be logging in to manage your cloud in one web interface. So this interface in the AWS cloud has a unique name to it. It is called as Management Console. So you don't tell I'm just logging to AWS cloud. You tell I'm logging to AWS Management Console. So this is called Management Console, which we log in by default, and this is customizable. This page a little bit you can customize, you can add widgets, anything, but yeah. So technically it also has a name. It's not just some login page, or it's AWS Management Console, and you can start checking all the services, but we will be needing something called EC2. Let's create an EC2 instance. You can click launch instance. We should see something Amazon customer verification failed. That is fine. Let's see. Linux. We can choose, but we will choose Red Hat because that is still the most dominantly used operating system in the market, right? Whenever you talk about Linux operating systems, right, let me give a small briefer on Linux so that we can go forward, because that's something, one fundamental knowledge you should know. So we all know that Linux is open source, right? It means that you don't need to pay a single penny. But when people talk about Linux, right, there is something called Linux kernel. Linux kernel is actually open source, okay? And companies or individuals take this kernel and compile it and add additional packages, and then they release the OS, okay? So it means that Linux OS is not open source. Linux kernel is actually open source. And whenever you add any of this additional things, and because let's say you are a large company, right? You hire a lot of people, employees, and then you give them the work of doing this. So you can't distribute it freely, right? Because you are spending a lot of money on testing, validation, certifications, all these things. So obviously you can't do that. So that's why what you do, you will end up charging. So Red Hat Enterprise Linux is charge, means it is a paid Linux operating system, and there are a lot of free operating systems, which is something like uh, let's say Debian, Ubuntu, or uh, Alpine, or else, yeah, I think these are the most popular. And SUSE, these two are paid, means because again you can't go and ask Red Hat, why are you charging? Linux is open source, I'll not give money. He'll not he will directly tell you, boss, I am hiring thousands of people to maintain this Linux operating system, for updates, for security, for patching, for fixing any bugs, right, enhancements. So that's why Linux operating system is not open source. Linux kernel is open source. So that's something. And in the Linux operating system, there will be subtle differences you should understand, so that there are one or two commands will be different, and there are something called as all of these things, right? You don't call Linux OS; they need to be called as distributions. This is a big term everyone should know, okay, which is called Linux distributions. So Red Hat is not called Red Hat Linux OS type, right? If someone will tell you what are the different Linux OS types, right? That's completely wrong. You need to tell there are multiple Linux distributions because everyone takes it and they distribute it. So that is called, they are distributions, or people call it as distros in a short form. Okay, so Red Hat Linux is a Linux distribution. SUSE is a Linux distribution. Debian, Ubuntu, Alpine, these are all called as the Linux distributions. And within these distributions, there are certain families. One is called as the EL family. EL family is nothing but Enterprise Linux family. What is this family? Family is nothing but who are together, right? Who are all related together is called a family. So here, the Red Hat Linux, uh, your Fedora, CentOS, Oracle Linux, AWS Linux, because yeah, AWS also has its own Linux. Because I told, right, everyone can take this and add some packages and release, right? So you and me also can release a Linux distribution. So no one is stopping us. So these are all related to one family, and there is one more called as a Debian. The Debian family will have Debian, Ubuntu. These two popular. There are some more, but you don't need to worry about. But these are all the things you'll be seeing in the market. Okay, so there are two major families. Nothing but the only difference is there are one or two commands which are different, and which is apt and apt, which is the package managers. Okay, the package managers. The package managers means uh, the commands to install. I'll tell you in a minute, but yeah, the main difference is that package manager is different. Other than that, all the commands, the way it runs will be same, because underlying kernel is same, right? So uh, don't expect that uh, even though I told you there is nothing major difference. 99.99% they are identical, because the parent is same, right? The underlying Linux kernel, because kernel is responsible for all the things, to create a process ID, to create directories, to interact with the hardware. So, and remember that kernel means, do not confuse, even your Windows operating system has a kernel, because a kernel is nothing but a small program who will interact with your hardware and provide you the hardware interface to your software. Because see, right now I am typing, means my keyboard should be in sync with some program, right? Then only my what are the keys I press will be there. And what we are seeing the screen, it means that there is a what you call display module, there is a Wi-Fi module, there is a hard disk, there is RAM, right? All of these are hardware things. And so someone should be there who should continuously interact with these hardware things and provide that hardware as an interface to your operating system. So kernel is that. Microsoft also has a kernel that is called NT kernel, Windows anti-kernel. So that is there. Every operating system has a kernel, whether your mobile phone or whether even your router, all of them have kernel, because kernel is that actual program which will interact with it, right? So that is there, and it's not something special here. It's just that Microsoft kernel is what it is paid. It will not be licensed. It will not be given freely to you. It will be somewhere hidden in Microsoft somewhere data centers, because it is their money. So that's the kernel, and then these are distributions, and these are the families. So it means that the same commands will work 100% across here, and all these commands will work here. And the only difference is the package managers. Okay, the package managers is the only difference, and that is something people should know. So because these are all things which will help people differentiate, right? When you interact, right? Okay, this guy knows, this guy doesn't know, right? You can't tell did you use that OS types, all those things, let's not use. So this is Amazon Linux. Amazon has taken, and then Red Hat. So then why is Red Hat charging you money when most of them are not charging? Because Red Hat gives you 10 years of support, uh, and this is the biggest one. Okay, 10 years of worry free support. So today you buy it, next 10 years you don't need to worry, I need to upgrade it, I need to change it. You will have peace of mind. He will keep providing you updates, security fixes, bug fixes, enhancements, and you can run your business safely, right? Because operating systems needs to be secure. If they are out of secure means there may be some third party people or some people who want to harm your company by hacking or whatever it is. So every company needs to be secure. It means that and if when you do this, these guys don't give it, right? Yeah, Ubuntu also gives it, but again Ubuntu charges you. Ubuntu gives the OS freely, but if you want these long term updates, they'll again charge you. But Red Hat out of the box will charge you, right? You can't. That is why Ubuntu is still categorized as free, because he'll give the free to you, but if you want long term, all of these guys are like that. So Oracle Linux is again same. He'll give you freely, but if you want support, you need to again pay. But Red Hat, if you want to even install it, you need to pay money only. Then only give that OS to you. SUSE also same, and SUSE is very famous for SAP workloads. So because SUSE and what you call SAP, both are German companies, so they are friends. So whenever you see SAP being installed, right, you'll end up seeing SUSE OS, because they both are same country, so they collaborate a lot and they optimize SUSE to SAP better. Okay, that's a little bit distribution. So it means that you see SUSE here, you see Debian here, you see Ubuntu here, you have Amazon Linux. So I hope now everyone has a clear understanding of what are they. I know what, I hope you guys know what this Mac and Windows. I don't need to explain. And Red Hat, we have 10 and Red Hat 9. So yeah, we'll take Red Hat 9. Red Hat 10 is very new. So RHL 9. And Red Hat as a short form, a lot of people call it, right, which is called as RHL. So let's use RHL here. So I choose Red Hat. I just give a name, and then it is 64-bit. Yes, we'll always use 64-bit operating systems. T3.micro. Yes, you can use T2.micro also. This is a login. Okay, so let's click create new pair. If you don't have it first time, just click create key pair. That's all. Nothing much. It'll ask you to download, store it in your downloads, and then it'll ask you to create security group. Yeah, you can create security group here. It'll automate create. Yeah, so creating a Linux is very easy here. So you click launch instance, it'll launch instance, and click view instances. It will take hardly 15 seconds to change from pending state to running state. Yeah, I know some of you are already aware of AWS, but yeah, this may be because I need to ensure everyone is on the same page. So yeah, now once you have this running, you can start logging in, right? You can start logging in. So what does it mean? I can use any of my command line tools. I use terminal. Uh, Again, this is completely your choice. You can use any of the tools you have. I'm just using a small tool called terminal, or you can also use your putty. It's up to you. So just select it, click connect, click SSH client, the third one, and copy this and go to your location where you have your the PEM file downloaded right now, and just run this command. It will ask, are you sure? Yes. And you will be placed into the Red Hat Linux operating system. So we have connected SSH. So, okay. And if someone has what is this SSH? SSH is a protocol which will help you log into the Linux operating system. Then what is SSH? So there are some basics I would like you to go if you're not, if you're very, very new. What is port? What is a protocol? Okay, there are a lot of protocols we use. Here we use SSH protocol and we use the port number 22. Okay, So these are the two things. We will use it to log in anywhere because we are remotely logging in. Because I'm not physically in the data center, right? I'm not in that location. Where is our server currently? My server is in Sydney. Okay, I'm not in Sydney. So we are remotely logging into that server. Okay. Again, I told you yesterday, do not confuse when someone tells you server. Server is nothing but one complete unit of uh, what you call a unit of machine which has an operating system. Okay, and it performs activities. So just blindly think that a server is nothing but equal to your laptop, right? One laptop. Yeah, it's just that it doesn't have screen, it only has your everything without screen, so that I can remotely connect. Okay, so that's a server. And one small clarification, yeah, when we go to AWS, I'll tell you. But all what you call instances, like if you use AWS terminology, AWS calls it as a EC2 instance, right? So are virtual machines. Okay, they are not physical servers; they are virtual machine. VM means virtual machine means it's a abstraction on top of a physical layer which creates a virtual machines, and these are not physical servers. Okay, because otherwise you see, right, we created a server within no time, like hardly 10-15 seconds, right? So you know, right, physical servers will take a lot more time to create, install and everything. So Amazon here drastically cuts down all of the time because this is a virtual instance. So everything is already configured on the hardware and they just spin up a new virtual machine to you. So remember that these are all VMs or virtual machines. Or again, you call, if you don't want me to confuse, they are called virtual servers. Okay, so a server can be a virtual server or a physical server. So this is a virtual server. So what is your laptop? Your laptop is a physical server. Why? It's a simple answer. If you install the operating system directly on the hardware, it is called a physical server. If you install your operating system on top of a software layer, it is called as a virtual server. So here, your laptop, your mobile phone, whatever the devices where you directly use, they're all physical servers because you installed OS directly on the device. There is no extra software in between your hardware and your operating system. Okay. So, and you all know that if you are using virtual servers, it means that you are efficiently using your hardware, because today's servers are very, very powerful servers. If you buy a server CPU, right? Server CPU, you get anywhere from 32 cores to 128 cores, and there are 256 cores also these days. But yeah, 128 cores are very common. So you can't give 128 cores to one operating system, right? Because you can't run 100, 200 programs in one OS because they will fight together and you can't efficiently use your capacity. So that is why people will break down these servers into, let's say, 4 cores or 8 cores, right? Servers. It means that one physical CPU can be broken down into 4 or 8 or 16 virtual CPUs. So that is why the main reason Amazon creates virtual servers is to efficiently use the hardware, because the servers are very powerful now, and the RAM you get at least is I think 2 terabytes to 8 terabytes. So means you can't give 8000 GB RAM to one server. It is useless. All the what happens is all the capacity gets wasted. So that is why we use virtual machines, because the servers come with this much capacity today and they are too powerful for installing one complete OS. You can't uh, do, and most of the programming languages we use still are from 1980s. Okay, they are all from 1980s. Some of them are from 1970s and 60s also. And most of the programming languages still are not in a position to run in multi-core. Okay, they are not designed to run in multi-core. Okay, only the language which came in 2008 or 9 from, right, like Golang. There is a language called Go language, very popular language today. There is Rust. These are all came after 2008, 2009. Rust came, I think, 2014, 2008 or 9, Golang came. These languages, modern languages, which are created hardly last 15 years, uh, they have this multi-core. All of your Java, C, C++, Python, they are not. You give 128 cores, it will hardly take one or two cores. You give him the full freedom. Hey, Java, you take all the 128 cores in my operating system. Please utilize. He does not have the capability only. Okay. And Python is older than Java. People think Python is no. Python is 3 years older than Java. Java came 1991, Python came 1989, and C++, whatever it is, your .NET also came in. I think .NET came in 1994 something. But yeah, they're all like same. They'll you give any amount of it, they can't take it. So that is why people don't create too many useful things. Okay, so I hope everyone is clear on it now. Whenever you log in to a Linux machine remotely, so you use SSH. SSH is why? Because SSH is a program which will establish your connection from your local. So right now I'm connected. It's not like I'm disconnecting my session. I have established a session and the session is connected continuously. So I'm. It is not like logging me off, or it is not like exiting me. It will not exit me until I exit, or if there is any network connection issue, right, between me and that server. Other than that, the session establishes. So the first thing you do is to a Linux machine, you are logging in. So here, this is your username. Okay, this is your username. And an important thing you should observe in the AWS is Amazon uses a file based security, which is a certificate as your username. Because, sorry, instead of password, because normally wherever you'd have seen, right, you would have seen username and password we give to log in. But here Amazon thinks that password is something people can guess, people can somehow find out, but a physical file cannot be stolen. So that is why Amazon prefers using certificate as a password for the Linux login. So that is an important thing. In earlier, when we did not have cloud, we had our own company data centers. You will not have this concept. You will only have a username and password concept. Okay, till today also, if you have data center, right, if your company is some banks, right, banks still manage their own servers because they still don't trust cloud. So yeah, if you go to a banking job and you log into servers, most probably again you'll use the username and password only. But for the cloud, they feel that this the file is more secure than password. So, and whenever you log in, right, the first thing you should understand is you will be placed in a specific location that is called as your home directory. Every user has a home directory, right? Because even if I go to my computer, I go to OS, I go to users, right? So there are two or three users. Each user has a directory, right? And then here he will have his downloads, documents. Like this is my desktop. I don't have anything on my desktop, but yeah, if you see anything, right? If you go to, let's say, documents, have some documents. So each user has a directory. So most of the concepts we talk in Linux, right, they all will be related to Windows also. Okay, but it's just that you will not observe them. So here, whenever you log in, you will always log into your home directory. Okay, and this is your location where, if you want, you can place one or two files, and other people who are logging into this machine cannot access your files because this is only dedicated to you. Okay, but again, this is not personal things, so we'll not put anything. So but here, so this is a directory. If you are logging with another user, that you will be in a home, that other username, let's say you are logging with Ubuntu user, you will have /home/Ubuntu. So that's an important thing. Where you will be placed will be based on the username you log in with. That username under home location. And there are a couple of basic things you should know when you talk about Linux is like, you don't call folders in Linux. Okay, you should call directory. That's an important thing. So if you tell, can you log into that folder, this folder, so as I told, right, your terminology will define you whether you know it or not. So do not call folder. Okay, always call directory. And the other thing is software. There is nothing called software. Okay, you call package. So if you need to install, let's say, some tool, let's say Oracle database, or you want to install Docker, Kubernetes, Jenkins, or Terraform, whatever the tools we are going to learn part of it, right? You can't tell, hey, hey man, have you installed Terraform software in Linux or have you installed Jenkins software? Do not tell like that, please. Okay. Ask, have you installed Jenkins package, Terraform package? So we always call it package. Okay. So do not use the word software at all. These things will be very important. So do not use this terminology and get into headache. So now the first thing you do whenever you install a new operating system, even your personal, is you want to install some packages, right? So the packages, when you install in Windows, right, what you do, you go to a website, you download your exe file, and then you double click it and you do it. But if you do your mobile phones, the experience is a lot more efficient, right? You go to an app store, you click on the button, it will only download the package, it will only download your mobile app, it will only install your mobile app, right? It is more seamless. In Linux also it is the same. In Linux also you have something called as a package managers. Simple, because you have, these are called packages, so whoever manages those packages, they are called package managers. So in the EL family, the package managers are called yum and DNF. DNF is a future of this, so earlier it used to be NF. And then if you go to Debian, it is apt or aptf and get. So that's a major difference, right? I told the one command which will be different is this, that one or two commands, right? That are package managers. So if you want to install a package in Red Hat, Amazon Linux, Oracle Linux, Red Hat, Fedora, all these things, you'll use yum command. And if it is Ubuntu or Debian family, you'll use apt or apt-get command to install packages. So now, I'll add sudo here. Why? Because some of the commands needs elevated permissions, right? Because in Windows, what you do something like run as administrator, something, right? So we don't need to do something like this here. It is equal to run as administrator. In the right click button, you do, right? I think, let's say you have PowerShell. Yeah, if you do right click, you have this, right, run as administrator. It is the same thing doing sudo here. So even though you are normal user, few things you will run as an elevated user, and it is always a best practice to use sudo command, because do not go to root user. Okay, root user is very bad. So because if you want to get elevated permission, means to get admin permission temporarily, add sudo command and then do it. If you want, how you'll know whether I need to use sudo, that is fine. So let's say I want to do yum install wget. Wget is a very common Linux package which is useful for us. So I'll try to run this command. It will tell not root. This command needs to be run with super privileges. So it clearly tells you, Linux gives that clear prompt that, sorry, this you are a non-root user. For this, you need to be a super user privilege. So I know that. Now I'll go back and add sudo and yum install wget. So what are these? This 68 MB, there will be two or three more. So these are nothing but the location of these packages, because obviously when I do this yum, right, it should obviously connect to some remote location, right, and download from there. So these are those remote locations. Okay, these three are the remote locations where there are packages. So don't expect every package in the world to be available here. Okay, let's say I will tell Oracle database, it will not be there, because Oracle is a paid database, right? So Oracle will not be there. So it will only this locations, right? These three locations will have all the most common popular open source packages only. Don't expect every package on the planet to be there, like SAP HANA or whatever. They'll not be there. Okay, you'll only have the most popular. Even though it's open source, sometimes you'll not find it because it is not popular. So Red Hat will not maintain it for you, because this is also incurs cost for Red Hat, right? So they'll only put. So don't expect anything to simply try it out and expect to be there. It will not be there. But yeah, there are thousands of packages here, and most of the time we'll have whatever we need. And as you know, the world has completely transitioned to the open source software. So 95% of the tools, or what you call any of the applications we use in the enterprise today, are mostly open source. Yeah, you will still use Oracle database because Yeah, there is not yeah, there is a credible alternative, but people still, right, once people are accustomed to something, they'll not change. But if someone will ask you what is the world's most popular database, Oracle is not the popular database anymore. It is not that. From the last 7 or 8 years, the world's most popular database today is Postgres, and that is the number one suggested database. Even if you are suggesting a database tomorrow to anything, you all blindly go with the PostgreSQL database. It is the most stable, the most powerful of what you call feature rich, right? So Postgres did not become famous just because it is free. It is very powerful. It has a lot of features. Okay, so that's why PostgreSQL has been the dominant database at least from last 7 8 years. And today, people like, if you want a relational database, people directly go to Postgres. It's that. Okay, so I do yes here. So if you see, it is installing duplicate. If it doesn't find, it will tell, sorry, I did not find the package, right? So, and what is the amount of storage? It is telling it will take 3 MB of size. Okay, 3 MB is fine. That is not much. So this is how you install a package on a what? A Linux operating system. If you would like to remove it, you can do yum remove, and it will remove the package. So freed space 3.1 MB. So yeah, I don't want to remove it. Okay, and if you want to see what are all the packages installed, you can do yum list. Yeah, there are quite a bit. That is right, because as I told, right, when Red Hat is packaging, they will package all the necessary these what you call utilities or basic packages for us. Okay, like WinZip or zip files or archive, ls command. There are a lot of basic commands. So these are all already installed. Okay, these are not something available. These are all installed on our operating system. Oh no. Oh yeah.
Do we need AWS CLI?
Sorry, mlist install it is, sorry. We don't need AWS CLI because we are here learning Linux, and this experience will be same whether you go to AWS or Azure or anything. Okay. Yeah, the correct command is mlist install. Sorry, guys. Yeah, these are the uh, commands. I was just checking command. Okay, so we don't, AWS CLI is only needed if you want to perform operations on Amazon cloud, right? So here we have not started AWS. First we will learn Linux, and then we'll go to Amazon. So yeah, these are the list of packages which are installed. And if you want to search, you can do grep, and you can do duplicate. Yeah, which we just installed 121 yamlist installed. Okay, you can do yamlist install to see what are all the packages installed on your operating system. Okay. And so we know now what is the home directory, what is pwd, current directory, ls command, and with what command user you're logged in, you can do id command. Id gives you the information about yourself, not some other, about yourself. What is the current user you have logged into your Linux server? It will tell you. So I have logged in with ec2 user, so it's information about myself, because sometimes you forgot which user you logged in, or you want more details about the user, just run the id command. Okay, and there are a lot of these basic utilities. The cd command, which allows you to move from one directory to other directory, right? If I want to go to temp directory, I'll go. Okay, and all of these things we will be these are the standard Linux commands. I'll not go this much down. I expect basic Linux commands for you to learn. Now we have installed a package, and we know how to uninstall a package. We have seen how to list the packages, and how, what is the user ID, how to create a new user, right? If you'd like to create a new user, do you want to create? Yes, there are some times we will need to create a new user. Okay, so obviously there, it's very simple. So you just need to run user add, and then a username. That's it. Like it's very simple. If you want, okay, it needs sudo because it's adding user is admin activity. So you just do user add, and let's say you want to create a user with something called Jenkins. Now, how do you validate? So you can do ID Jenkins to verify whether a user called Jenkins is available. Yes, Jenkins is available. And how? What is one other way to verify without running ID command? Can someone tell me to check whether a user is available or not on this operating system without running this ID command? I already gave you an answer. That's why I'm asking this question. This is not I'm expecting to know upfront earlier. I've already clearly told you one way of finding it right now. That's why I'm asking. So just to clarify, this is not to gauge your existing knowledge. This is something I just now told 10 minutes back. Okay, I told you that every user has a directory under home, right? So you see Jenkins. So if I see a folder called Jenkins folder, it means that a user called Jenkins is available on this operating system. So that is what I was expecting the answer. Because I told you, right, every user under home has a directory for him. This is a brand new Linux operating system. That's why Amazon by default creates EC2 user. That's why EC2 user was already there. You do not need to create because Amazon creates it behalf of you first time when you're creating that server. But now we created Jenkins user by our own. So that's why you have second directory. So these
Okay.
logical things.
Question.
Yes.
So, like I said yesterday, some of us are not. I mean, well, I'm not really familiar with Linux. So, will we get like a list of commonly used Linux command? That's the first. And second, when do we? I mean, what are the use cases for creating no users? Like you said earlier, right? When we created this instance, right? AWS already created the EC2 user for us, right? So what are the
Yes.
use cases, or when do we know that we need to add new users to this instance?
Okay, so I think that use case has been completely dead because if we are learning Linux 10 years back, the answer is different. But today, most of the time, I think it is not needed because we are in the world of today auto scaling, right? And most of the time we eliminate logging into the Linux servers directly. So yeah, I think there are very less use cases I would say today
Hmm.
needing for us to create a user. But still I will tell you what originally this user management was, right? Because let's say I told you, right, a banking project, so where you log in with your actual username, your name, right? Your name, and you'll have your own password which you don't share, right? Because it is your company's login you use. So
Hmm.
that time, what happens is you log in with your username, and let's say I logged in with my name called Gautam. Uh, so when you start your process, right? Because let's say there is Oracle database here. Your team member told Gautam, go and start Oracle database. So I will start Oracle database. So when you start a process with your username,
Hmm.
that process will keep running with your username. Means after you complete your shift, will someone come to your shift, he will try to stop and start Oracle database. It will not allow. It will tell that sorry, this database is running with this user. Only he can operate. So
Okay.
that's why earlier what we used to do is we used to create a what you call a application account, and we all used to switch to that account like
Okay.
this. And then we used to make operations so that the system, because all of the team members will have a chance to switch to this user because it's a service account. So we used to do that. So we used to log in with our account, which I can't share with my team member, and then I switch it. So this also gives credibility. So I will know exactly who logged in at what time, who ran this commands, right? For that also tracking everything. But today, uh, the EC2 user is more than enough for us. So everyone is happy with the EC2 user. If there is something you're installing, we all use EC2 user because it's already created. And this personal user account management concept is not there because it is AWS system, right? We can't put all those things. But still, If you want external systems, they are called PAM system. You can do it. So if some company is very much what you call uh, still having this all things, yeah, they can still integrate those login systems, but it's no one uses today. But yeah, this is how we used to think about the Linux users. We all used to log in with our personal account, switch it. But today, uh, whatever the operations we do, right, tomorrow we manage Kubernetes or anything, people are happy they use EC2 because all the team members already have it, so we log in it. So that's
All right, thank you. So I think from what you said, that's mostly for non-repudiation, right? So they can trail who's doing stuff, and you also talked about application account. So can you please delineate the difference between application account and service account? Because you talked about both. So can you really tell like what the
it's the
difference?
same application account, or that's the same terminology. So there's only difference is human user account and application account. So this EC2 user is also an application account because it is not specific to a user. Until it's not specific to user, you can categorize it as an application account.
What about service account?
Yeah, service account. Yeah, both are interchangeable.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. But as I told today, we don't worry. We all log in with EC2 user. We all share. People create it because that's a standard authentication system. So you don't want to mess. People don't mess up until unless they go to great lengths of security. But yeah, as I told, everyone is happy everywhere. Even if someone is already having their, yeah, you can tell me anyone. Couple of them who are already working in AWS. Has your company enforced your own authentication, or all you use EC2 authentication? Anyone? You can add their comments. Okay, that's fine. So that's your user and then let's install a standard tool so that we will know how to start a program. So I'll go ahead and again install a package. This time I'll install a package called HTTPD, which is Apache Web Server. So once you install a package, so how to start and stop, right? Again, here I don't have start menu. I can't search it. So in Linux operating system, all the packages we install, we can manage with systemctl. Systemctl is a utility to list down all the applications which can be started and stopped. So there is a specific what you call program in Windows also, which is called services.msc. So if you go to services in your Windows, here you will find out every program you have installed, and then right, like these are all the programs which are there which run in the Microsoft, right, web client or Wi-Fi or Windows Audio. These are all the programs. Okay, this is where actual services will run. So it's the same thing, same concept. You can let's say I don't want to do something bad. Let me see something which I can. Okay, this is there. So I can start the service, I can stop the service. Okay, I can restart it. If you have property, you'll have a lot of properties you can control along with your system OS. This is automatic. I don't want to start, so I'll disable this. Okay, apply. So this is starting along with my OS boot up. So you can do the same, right? You have what automatic, manual, disabled, and you can also start stop. So same thing we'll have in this here, where let's say we have installed now HTTPD. It's a what? It's a package. But what is this package? This is an application, a web server. A web server will host websites behalf of you. Okay, it is one of the important category of what you call application types which we use in an enterprise, right? Everyone has a website, everyone needs a web server. It's as simple as that. Without web server you cannot do anything. Yeah, the web server is today embedded a lot, but the concept of web server will not go, and it is just transformed. But everyone needs a web server to host a web application, which is your website. So we have installed that a package HTTPD, which will install your Apache HTTP server, which is an application. So and sometimes you see that I only asked you to install a single package, but why is it installing so many packages? Because sometimes a package also has some dependent packages, and this is where the is good, right? M also identifies what are the dependent packages and then brings them along with it and installs it. So that is installed. So that is an application. Application means you can start and stop an application, right? The Google Chrome is an application. Your Microsoft Office is an application, right? So here this is also what you call a server application. So systemctl status httpd. So I've just installed it. So don't expect it to automatically run because you have installed it, right? So what we'll do, we have status, it is not running. It is showing active is inactive, it is dead because we have not started. So let's go and start it. And if you do the status again, you will see that it is now running, and it is also having a process ID. Okay, process ID is a unique ID allocated by your operating system to track that process and all the allocations to it, memory, RAM, storage, whatever it gives, it tracks through this PID, process ID. And this time it is active and running. Okay, so very clear how much RAM it is using. 25 MB RAM it is using, nominal, right? So now this is running. You want to stop it, you can stop it. You want to restart it, you also can restart it. And if you want to start this application along with your Linux boot up, right? Means if you shut down this Linux operating system and you start it, you want that application also to start along with your system startup, which is also possible in your Windows operating system. Here also it is possible. We first need to check whether it is currently what is the status. So if you do is enabled, so right now it is disabled, means it is disabled means it will not start along with your operating system right now. So we will do enable, then it will enable it. And if you do now is enabled, enable means if I shut down this Linux operating system, start it, I don't need to worry about running this command every time. It will automatically start, and it will start and it will start running. So now if you want to access this, you can access this from your browser, because this server I've created internet accessible. Yeah, you don't create your servers to access from internet, but across this training we will create servers which are accessible through internet. Otherwise none of our demos we can experience, so you can access this. Now you have started, you have seen this, you have able to do, but you want to see all the process, right? This is one process, but you want to see all the processes. We need to know proper commands in what you call your process ID management. So which is ps is a command which will list on all the processes running on your operating system, uh, a clear detailed list which is exactly equivalent to your task manager. Okay, so you do ps-ef. Why ps-ef? Because it gives that additional information. If you run ps, you get very basic information. So I'll do ps-ef. These are all normal commands, I know most of you know, but we'll just try to clarify. So these are all the processes running on your operating system, and the PID1 is an important operating system process because this is the root process, which is the parent process to all the processes. Okay, so this guy is important, so you can't kill him. But and these are all the process IDs. Okay, and you'll also see our Apache, which is running with Apache user. Okay, and this is a 17049, right? This is started by root user because we do systemctl. Okay, so
Question.
you can, if you want, yes.
So, I remember I can recall yesterday you said DevOps engineers they work in tandem with developers, right? So
Yeah.
my question is, when developers need EC2 instance, right? So are they gonna tell the DevOps engineer what packages they should install, or like for instance, the HTTPD that you installed, right? So will they tell the DevOps engineer that they want that as well, or they'll be the ones to install that?
Yeah, I think we are in the world where people don't ask you to create instances. Everything is Kubernetes now. So they would ask you to host an application, right? They'll write a new Java application. They'll ask you, can you run this application? And what you call ensure it is what you call accessible. So that's what they'll tell you. So we will give that solution to them. And yeah, we are not going to suggest a standard EC2 instance anymore. So everything we run today is containerized and deployed through Kubernetes, whether it is a web server, whether it is a app server like Java applications, Python applications, or if you're running some simple lightweight what you call services like messaging services like Kafka or any other backend systems. We run them through Kubernetes. The only systems actually we run independently is the databases. Okay, database also we don't run in EC2. We have dedicated AWS managed services we call, where we are going to provision them. So this, I think you will not get in today 2025. You will never get a requirement that create an EC2 instance, install the package. No.
All right, thank you.
Most of the local developer machines are powerful, so when they are working a containerized, they also install Docker desktop tool. They will also test the container there, uh, and then they'll also come to us. But yeah, no one is going to come and ask you to create EC2 instances. If even if they come, you should deny it. Tell them that is not how you operate. If you still have an application which is still traditional application which cannot run in Kubernetes, we need to provide a better solution like using auto scaling group, where it scales along with the service. We ask them how it is there, we optimize the deployment. So even they commit, you deny it. Tell that no, I'll not give you this because that's not because see, wherever that it should be automated, right? I told, right, it should auto scale, it should automate all those things. I told, right, you should check. And if he's asking something which is not ticking the boxes, then it is something you don't do it, and you understand his question, and then you provide him a better solution.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's because see, developers will not know it, so they will ask. If you blindly follow them, we'll be in a trouble. So yeah, we should fulfill his task, but we should just ask him better and then give him a better solution. Now, these are all the process IDs, and to do grep, HDPD, it means that we can grep it. So grep is nothing but it is like Control F on your Windows operating system. You'll just grab that and you'll find it. And let's say you're trying to stop it, right? You try to stop with a simple command called stop. It is not working, right? You did system stop because it is processing a lot of what you call requests, and all the threads are blocked, and you are trying to stop it. Is not stopping because it is in a struck state. So you can forcefully stop an application using kill command, kill -9, and then the process ID. What is the process ID? 17049. Yeah, because it is running with root. So you can forcefully stop a process ID using a kill command. Okay, but let's say you want to download some files from remote machine to your here you don't have a browser here. So what is the alternative command for it? It is a duplicate command which we just installed. So duplicate is a utility which will run your HTTP protocol based request behalf of you. So it is equivalent to like a download manager. So let's say you want to download a package. Let's go to internet and let's see. uh, Download. I'm just randomly downloading some files. So I want to download this file, container SC Linux EL7, no watts RPM. This is 36,000. So I'll just download. So what I'll do right click copy link address, and then come here to duplicate and paste it and hit enter. Okay. It is telling cannot write. Oh, I should be in my home directory. I can't be somewhere. I told. It is downloaded. If you do ls minus lh, it is downloaded 37 kb. I got the file. Okay, yes, it's the same. You want to download another file, you do right click copy link address, okay, and do duplicate space the address name. It will download that file. No matter what file today or tomorrow you'll download, it's the same process. Okay, and let's say you want to access some service, right? Because obviously whenever you start any application, you can access it, right? Access it through a browser or access it. So again, we don't have a browser here. But right, if you're running some tool in your laptop, you will go to your browser and you'll do localhost, right? Localhost something, because you are running some application, whatever small software you're running in your laptop. But here, when we are running some packages like Apache HTTPD app package or anything, we would like to access it, right? Or test it. Let's say you want to do a very basic test. So again, I don't have a browser here, right? Because if it is my UI based OS, I will use browser, but here I don't have. So what is the alternative command to test out web applications, whether they are running or not, whether they are doing that request or not? You can use the curl command. Curl http colon slash slash localhost. Yeah, because by default it is running 80. I don't need to give a special port. If I run it, fail to connect. Why? Can someone tell me? I think Apache was running, right? Till now. Why is it not connecting? Can someone tell me? It is
Can you
in
repeat
front
your
of.
question?
Sorry.
Can you repeat your question?
I'm expecting an answer for here, but it is telling connection refused. So I'm expecting a small output here where my Apache should be giving me a response, but Apache is not giving me a response
And could it be
because
that port is
I
not
killed it.
open?
I killed it. That's why I was expecting everyone will remember. So I just now killed it, right? So obviously it is not running. So let's search for our process. Let's run it. Sudo systemctl. Yeah, that is where you need to keep. So when I ask, it is about just now something I told, so that you are paying attention or not. Yeah, it is failed because I killed it. So let me stop it properly. I think let it restart it. Why to run two commands? Okay, now it's running. Now let's run the same curl command. It's giving. Yeah, this is, right. It is giving a lot of HTML content. That's nothing but, see. Okay, so it is working fine. And if you do the same thing on your browser, then yes, it will give the same thing, UI, right? Remember that your browsers are not like, means this is a little bit off topic, but I'll tell you, right? So when you hit a website, right, your website will show you UI, but the application which is running on that server will not have UI, right? What it will do is it will send you text only. Your browser will render that. Rendering means executing that and showing you the display of it. So whenever you do google.com, right, Google will not send you UI. What it will send us, if you go to your page source, Google will send you this data. That's all. This is what Google will send you. What your browser does is it will take this HTML code, right? This is HTML code, and they will execute the HTML code and display that HTML code. That is why your Internet Explorer used to be slow and Chrome used to be fast, because Chrome used to perform this execution very fast when compared to your earlier Microsoft Internet Explorer. That is why Internet Explorer dead. Okay, because of simple reason, websites were not slow. Microsoft Internet Explorer was slow. What Chrome did, they created one new execution engine called V8 engine, and then that was super fast. So that is why people still use Chrome, because there is a lot of things happen on your browser, on your mesh, on your laptop where you're displaying, right? So that's where this happens. So everyone will send the same. Because your internet speed is the same, but browsers, why they still look slow? Because your browser will render that, they will execute that and display it. When that execution is slow, then your browser looks slow. So that's what happens, anything. So this is what your applications will throw the data outside. Okay, and your browsers will execute that and show you as a UI instead of this showing you like this text. But this is what actually, whenever you ask a application, they spit out like this. Just that our browsers will not show like this to us. So now we have seen how to download packages, how to access applications locally, how to search the processes, how to kill the process, standard, how to forcefully kill it, how to install a package, how to uninstall a package, right? How to see the list of packages we have installed, how to create a user, how to run elevated commands. Uh, and we also need to know the concept of port. Okay, we'll try to understand that because there's a fundamental, I know even someone has used, they will not much try to understand it, but let's say you have all your laptop, you have a physical ports, right? You'll have HDMI port, you'll have power port, you'll have USB port, right? You may have a headphone jack port, right? These are all the ports you have. These are, what is a port? A port is a physical interface to your device, means it gives you a physical way to connect to the device and interact with the device, right? You put a HDMI cable, I will be able to directly display in an external monitor, right? That's a physically interfacing. And USB, it's again, I'm physically interacting with the third party device directly. I put a USB, I can see the content of that USB because I'm interacting with it, right? So these are all physical ports where we physically interact with the hardware directly connected to your machine. Then how do you remotely interact, not physically but remote, like through an application, or how do you call it, digitally, right? Through a digital way, right? That is where your operating system ports will come into picture, right? Operating system also has a lot of ports. 64,535, these are the number of ports you have. Okay, and you can increase this. These are only theoretical, but if you want more, you'll get more. It will go to 1 lakh, 2 lakhs also. Okay, but these are the number of ports you get out of the box. All operating systems, mobile phone operating system, or like laptops or servers, it doesn't matter, because I told a lot of these fundamental concepts are same. So your operating system, you have 64,535 ports. Now, why are these ports, right? Because why do I need this many thousands of ports in the first place? But it comes as that by default. So let's say now, uh, now you know what is physical port I'm interacting. Now, what is an operating system port is, if you want to reach out to an application, right? You need a way to connect to it, right? The way I can use HDMI to connect external display, there should be one more way to connect to an application. Because see, if I don't connect to an application, I cannot send a question to it. If I can't send a question to it, it will not respond me with an answer, right? It's as simple as that, right? If I'm not asking him a question, first of all, if I'm not able to communicate with him, forget about answer. He'll not even, there's nothing I can get. So here, if you want to talk to an application, you should know how to first interact with it. Means you should know his address, right? If I want to talk to him, I should go to him, right? I should know his address. If I know his address, I will go to him and I will ask him the question. So knowing this address in the operating system is through your what? First thing is your operating system, your laptop address I should know, which is your IP address. So I know your IP address now because I found out somehow, I found out and I found the IP address, which is your what location. But within your IP, if I come to your operating system, right, what I can do, hardly I can do a ping IP address. I'll do what I'll do, I will know whether you're alive or not. That's all, right? If I know the IP address, I cannot talk to the applications inside the uh, whatever the device that IP address is pointing to, right? If I know the IP address, hardly what I can do is I can ping that IP address and whether that IP address device is alive or not. That's all. But how will I actually interact? Even though now I know the IP address perfectly, it is a correct IP address only. How will I interact with some applications which are running on that device? Is by knowing the port number of that application, right? This is what an important concept everyone should understand. Otherwise, most of the things you will never understand. Okay. Now, this port allows you to directly interact with your application. Okay, it is a doorway, or it is a door to your application for to communicate. Think of it as like an apartment, right? You came to an apartment, right? You know the apartment address. But in apartment address, there are 100, 200 or 1000 flats, right? So to go to that specific flat is your port number. IP address is your building number, and your port number is your specific apartment. Okay, and this is where you will be able to exactly communicate. Okay, so now this IP address, so there are default ports. 80 is used for HTTP, okay, and then 22 is for your SSH, 443 is for your HTTPS. So there are some pre-reserved ports. So 121024 are OS reserved ports. Okay, they are reserved by the operating system. And your 1025 to 49,150 something are reserved by operating systems, or are reserved by applications. So reserved for application means our applications will use these ports. Okay, and your 80 is within this because it is already by default a popular application, so it uses it. But yeah, most of the tools, right, most of the applications, they will never use 1024, they'll always use these, right? Let's say 1521. What is 1521 port? Can someone tell me which application uses this popular port?
I'll check ChatGPT.
Hmm? Anyone? Oracle database, the heart of everything. So, and 5432 is a modern, it is a Postgres. Yeah, these are all popular ports. Again, you don't need to remember, you hardly remember 4 or 5, it is fine. 25 is your SMTP, where you send your mails, right? Mail protocol. So I think there are few things you should remember. I think beyond this is not required. At least some to know that, prove that you are working, right? So you need to know some. Now I know the port, and that is where you can actually connect. So let's say, let's do ns lookup. Ns lookup is a reverse lookup to find out the IP address of a host name. So when you go to a website, right, this google.com, this google.com is not the actual address of the Google's website. The google.com is only created for the convenience of the consumers or the normal people. But what is the actual address of this website is a IP address, because IP address is what which will always point to a unique device on the internet. Okay, and this lookup is not installed. Yeah, install. I think it's netutils. One second. It's netutils. Oh, it's bind utils. Okay. Yeah, some of them they don't come because they feel it is. Okay. Now, if you see NS lookup, what is this? You got an IP address. Remember that to uniquely identify on the internet, you need to have a unique IP address. There is no question around it. There is no other concept around it. But if I ask you to start remembering IP addresses for websites, you will hardly remember 10 or 12. That's all. That also people can't remember. But if I ask you to remember the simple names, now you can remember easily 100, 200 websites very easily. So that is why these are called as common names. Okay, but the actual uh, device or the application or the server who is going to accept your request is this, right? Because once I know the IP address, right, every device on the internet is unique. So the moment I know this, I will exactly find out the shortest path to this, because internet has routers, all those things, who will give you the directions. Oh guy, man, you go here, that is in California, that is here, that is in India. So with IP addresses, you can easily figure out where that is located, and also the shortest path to go to that, and then again you come back, right? That's how the TCP protocol internet all works. So this is what it is there. And if I try to do a telnet to it, let me see, telnet is installed. Again, telnet is not installed. telnet. What is IP address? '80. Why am I attempting 80 or let's say 443? Because here a server is running which has a HTTPD or some software related to web server, right? Who will is hosting websites, and we all know that websites use 80 or 443, right? So I will try to attempt it. And if you see escape character is this special symbol, it means that I am able to remotely communicate, and within few seconds Google will kick us out because we are trying to connect to Google server. Google kicked us out. That is expected. Okay, so here what does it mean? I am able to validate, means here I can confirm that 443 port is available to connect, and we are also connected. But Amazon, Google doesn't like people connecting to their servers in this format, so they'll throw you out. Okay, connection closed by foreign host. So this is how you will confirm the connectivity from one server to other server, right? Whether it is tomorrow database, you started a Java application, and in the Java application you will see a clear message that connection to the database failed, right? It will tell you what you call connectivity issue, SSH, TCP connection failure, something it will tell. So that time the first thing you should do is you should run a telnet command. Database also is within your company's location, right? So you put the database host name or IP address, and then give the port number on which your database is running. So this is the most simplest way to verify connectivity to remote host. Okay, and there's a very useful command for you guys. Will use a lot whenever you want to test out whether there's a connectivity from one machine to other machine or not. Okay, and here I was able to connect with remote, and it means that I was able to connect, right? So I told, right, knowing 142, what I can do, I can't do anything. I'll just do ping, I'll get ping answer, that's all. This is the most you can do. But that is not what I wanted. I wanted to know. Now I know clearly that okay, there is what you call a web server running. I'm like, yeah, people can run anything, but most of the time it will be a web server running. Okay, so that's a telnet command. Again, ns lookup command, these are all networking commands which are which come very handy to you when you are working. Okay, so this is a DNS lookup. Okay, why did I get an answer? Because I'm connected to internet gives that. Okay, so I'll just do google.com. I got, yeah, this is IPv6 address because people are moving to IPv6, but that's fine. Any questions here? The ping command, nslookup, telnet, curl, these are all commands for you to test, verify, validate, right? Check. Most of the time, right, you are not going to do Linux administration. No one is going to ask you do Linux administration, because that is completely now out of the picture. Because today we don't traditionally manage Linux servers directly. Everything is through Terraform. We run the Terraform, it will be running up and running. That's it. And even if you want to install some basic packages, that also can be completely automated. Okay, let's say you still have some traditional way of requirement to do something, you can still that also automate it. Okay, so you will rarely do like this manual commands, because the Kubernetes and containers are the way people run today every application. So that's where everyone goes. But it's still there, you possible. So do not think that I need to do troubleshooting of Linux. So today if something happens, right, people do not waste a single minute, or yeah, until it's a very critical, they throw that server outside and bring a new server and replace it and get going. They'll not sit and troubleshoot and do, because we manage the servers not as a pets, like we'll try to manage the servers as a cattle. So yeah, if you want, you can go and see pet versus cattle. Right, so pet means what? You should give a special letter. You have two pets, you can't ask them to expect, right? You need to give care to each and every pet, because pets are personal. They expect whatever it is, grooming, or they want right. You can, but cattle, what you will do, you have 100 goats, you just beat them and they go, right? You don't need to give special care to each and every goat, right? Because they're cattle, you can manage them as 100, 200, or thousands efficiently without giving special care to each and everyone. You just manage them all as a single unit, even though they are multiple numbers, right? So the perception is like that today also. Like that's not I'm telling, that's how people today see infrastructure, right? We should not manage infrastructure as a pet. We need to manage infrastructure as a cattle. Means all of them I should manage efficiently in a simple way. I should not use special attention to each and every guy, because then the management will increase. That's how we perceive today the infrastructure, like cattle, not pets. Now let's see what else, the commands. Yes. Yeah, now one more networking command we'll see is netstat. The netstat is also very useful command. Again, is to see what ports your processes are running, right? ps-ef, I told, right, every process id on operating system will give you whether it is root process, the starting process id. But the netstat command gives you, oh, netstat is not, let's see, where is this next? Net typhoon tools are, okay. So if you see here, you will see active internet connections, active Unix domain sockets. Do not worry about this data. Okay, this is not needed for you. Only worry about this part, active internet connections. So if you see here, you will get a lot of information. The first thing is this colon, right? Like this. These are local process running, and if you see here, one is running with 80 port. Okay, and you see the status listen. There are few statuses here. We'll try to understand. So what is this? This is a port number. Okay, this is local address, port number. So obviously whenever your process starts, right, any process you start, it needs a port number. Okay, so and it has been allocated, 80 port is allocated, and it is now listening. What is listen? Listen means, listen is an actual status of a port which will signify that your application is running and ready to accept traffic and give the response, right? It is continuously listening. Okay, so 22, it is also listening, because ssh is a utility which will run on your server, so that, you know, right, a linux operating system is a multi-user operating system. Multiple people can connect to this linux operating system right now. It's not one-on-one, so it is listening. So these two are the applications which are currently running on this operating system, which are listening for external traffic. You'll see one more thing here is established. Established is only you get for what? For your connections which are continuously connected. So if you see here, 172.31.280, what is this? This is my IP address. How to see your own IP address? You can do host name -i, gives you your own IP address. Okay, 172.31.280. Okay, now if you want to know like little more information about your own this one, you can do IPA, which gives you all the networking details. You'll have two interfaces, ethernet interface and loopback interface. See, your server is connected, right? In the AWS also it is connected to the network, and that network is exposed, right? So obviously it is your unique IP address within your AWS. Whole AWS, it is unique within this. Okay, so that you can uniquely log in within your account. Now, so this is your IP address. And what is this IP address? It is right now, it is telling connected 122.177.244.158. What we'll do is we'll go to Google and we'll try what is my IP address. Let's go to this website. What is my IP? It will detect it. Okay. 122.244.158. 122.244.158. Is this correct? 244.158. It is correct. Means right now we have a session established, right? From here, from our local to here. So that is the established connection. Okay. So you'll have clear details who is connected to you, which process are listening, right? All will be clearly available. Time wait is, again, it is waiting on connection, if there is a request, but listen is important. So if someone will ask you a question, hey Gautam, can you tell me whether your Apache is actually running or not, right? What you'll do first, you'll do first thing like this is ps-ef, you'll do grep httpd. You will first try to see whether all the process IDs are properly running or not, or you can do systemctl, right? Sudo systemctl status httpd. You'll do this. Okay, it is actively running. The process ID is 17313. So, and the same thing 17313 showing here, either you do ps or here it's same. Okay, so good, I will do. But if you want further more clear confidence that this guy is actually running with accepting traffic, then you do that final command netstat fnanp. You do grep, and you do grep your process ID 17313. Oh, I think it is not showing. Let's search for the name. That's not showing. Let's search port. I think it will. I think somehow it is not. It is fine. Yeah. When and once you know the port number, right? You will see listen. Then you will get okay. My process is running, and whatever the port number it is allocated, it is using that port, and that port is listened. This is when you will get 100% confident. You can confirm, tell I am confident, go, it is running. Okay, so this is another way of checking which port number is being allocated, okay, in your operating system. So again, this is also very useful. These are all the commands you use whenever you are what you call interacting with and checking and validating your details, right? These are all the things you will end up doing. Okay, let me see what else. Yeah, let me explain you that concept, a small concept. Okay, so let me open. Sorry, oh, I ended up my session. Sorry. That is fine. Let's connect to the AWS again. Copy, paste. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I've logged in back to here. So let's open a small application on my machine. I'll collect it. Okay. So this is a small, I'll try to explain you the port here more clearly. Okay. So I've started a small program on my operating system called calculator. Do you think this guy needs a port number? Process is there because if you go to task manager, I can see the process ID of calculator that is there. This program is running. This program has a process ID. Okay, this is fine and it is running. Do you think this calculator needs a port number? Do you think it needs? Anyone? Does you think it
No,
needs a port to be allocated in the first place?
no, sir.
Okay. Anyone? Any? Same everyone? Yeah, it's fine. Yes, no. No one is judging. Okay. It needs a port number, definitely. Why, I'll tell you. Okay, see, there are so many things happening, right? Right now, you're seeing this. Let's say I type 100. right? You're seeing that information. So how are you seeing that information? So when I type in with my keyboard some numbers, right, that information should be provided to the calculator program will take it and display in the its program and send that information back to my display. So it is actually accepting information and giving back that information. Okay, so yes, every process needs a port
But
number.
without internet access, we can connect to calculator, right?
Yes, but still, see, it needs, okay, it needs input, right? You see, if it's something it doesn't need anything. Okay, let's say there is a music player. Okay, you started a music player on your operating system. It also needs port because it needs to send the information outside, right? That music information, sound information, it should send to your speaker. Then only it will be converted from analog to, from digital to analog, and it will show, right? Because music is digital information, numbers, it needs to be sent here. So information, if you want to talk to a program, you want to give information to your program should first accept it. And to accept it, it'll only accept on a port number. It is like you're opening a door, right? Door is mandatory, right? Then only you go inside. So a port number, here remember that port number doesn't mean that it is internet. Okay, port is not for internet access. Port is for communicating with that application. Whether you are communicating remotely, locally, doesn't matter. Okay, you are remotely connecting, okay, but what if there is a program within your company's what you call, let's say there is because every company has intranet, right? Your company's own firewall where you have a lot of internal websites also. Let's say customer care portal is there. Every company has a customer care application, but can we all customers access that? No, only customer care team or some other team only will access it, right? That is an internal website in your company only. It's still a website only, but that website address and that website will be locked down to a specific VPN firewall. Only your customer care team can access it. So that is still a web application that needs to be accessed, but its scope is limited. What if there is some critical application which needs to be accessed by only 2 3 people, right? There's a bank, and there's end of the day there is a something called clearing, where you send billions of dollars between you and other bank, right? There only 1 or 2 person only will sit and run that clearing account, right? It's still application, but there only physically someone will go to that head office or somewhere and run that program. So that is a local program, but still someone should interact with it, right? So yeah, you remotely interacting is different, but for an application to uh, accept or respond back, it needs a port number. Means whatever you start any application, your operating system will blindly assign a port to it. Otherwise nothing will happen to it. Okay, every application, whether it is a crazy application, whether it's a drivers, even your keyboard drivers or whatever, starts along with your operating system, which are OS related mandatory applications, which are required for you to ensure your operating system is running properly. They also will have ports. That's why I always explain this, because if you cannot have port, you cannot interact with that application. So if you're not interacting with the application, there's nothing we can do. So all have ports. It's just that popular applications will have predefined ports. That is why we'll perceive them as, okay, these only will be accessible. No, right? Let's say database, right? Database is needs port because database is not exposed to internet, right? It's only within your companies because it is your heart, right? Because every hacker wants access to your database. So we will never expose our database to internet. We'll put specially in some restricted network and only allow our application servers only to access it, and we'll restrict every other network, right? So the same thing here, database is interacting, because if you want to ask your question to database you will have what, 5432 port. You have a protocol, you have a host name, IP address. You ask a question, it gives answer again, whatever it is, database language, but still you need to talk to it. So yeah, that's why you always need, otherwise you can't talk. Clear?
Okay, sir. So you mean to say even the phone application, like we are dialing, right? That needs a port number.
Obviously, yes.
Okay, but can we see which port it is running? Calculator, phone application.
Yeah, we can see. I think, why can't we see? Let's see task manager. Let's run calculator again. Let's go to your details. Calculator. This is giving only till PID. It should be, but I don't know whether Microsoft gives us that much depth of. But yeah, it will be there. As I told, like, without that, nothing will happen. So
Okay.
yeah, it should be there. But it's just that Microsoft doesn't give too much of details outside. So that's how it is. But yeah, if you start anything here, you do netstat, you will get to know. Okay. Yeah, you can go and start anything you want. It is running, you will get a port. In Linux, because Linux gives us that level of details no other one gives. What else? I think that's all I have. Yeah, I think we'll continue again. We'll have one more Linux session, and then we will go with the AWS. Okay, so that I'll see what all. There are few more things with home directory, setting up passwordless connection, what you call setting up your env1 variables. There are a lot more other things we need to discuss. We'll discuss all those things, and then we will complete Linux, and then we'll go to the what you call starting with AWS Cloud in next week. Okay. Yes, I will send out a Linux command list, whoever asked, so that you can also what you call learn it. So we'll try to send it out. That. Okay. Any more question? Anyone has any other questions? Okay. So
Sir, you mean to say like nowadays we are not manually updating this port, right? So you mean to say like from the
we don't manually update
Terraform
means.
config.
Okay, so let's say
Hello.
you are install. Yeah, tell me.
From the Terraform configuration, we are changing the ports. That's what you meant.
Yes. So let's say you are installing some application in 2025 also something like what you call manually, right? A manual program. So yeah, if there is any configuration, yeah, you will configure that through Terraform. You configure that, and then next time again you create a new EC2 instance. It will use the properties and spin up with the consistent configurations. Yes, that is right. Even if you do that, we upfront configure it, like uh, whatever the property or port number. Yeah, but most of the time we don't change port numbers until unless it's needed. Yeah, you may change other properties like log locations or some redirection rules of a web server. uh, those kind of things, yeah, we will end up doing, and or updating your website host name in the host section. Yeah, those configuration, but port numbers we don't much change. But yes, other configurations, yeah, we do through our either you do through your user data, or you directly load a full file also through Terraform. You can load whole file also, whichever efficient ways.
So we will be covering everything in Terraform, right? All these
Yeah, we'll
configurations,
cover. Yeah,
all the modules.
means
Okay.
yes, means we'll not cover all kind of AWS services, but we'll take one or two AWS services and understand all the Terraform features like that. Okay, not the way of covering each and every AWS service how to write Terraform, but we'll learn Terraform as a language, right? So that once you understand all the features, then you can use that knowledge to use for AWS or Azure or whatever it is. Okay.
Okay, sir. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll learn how to create a modules reusability, right? Which is obviously we'll do. So we'll talk about how to structure your Terraform code, because that's also an important decision you do, because that decision will stay back for like 4 5 6 years, right? Because so those are some important decisions you need to make when you're managing. There are 2 3 approaches to it. We'll discuss about them.
Okay.
Anyone has any other questions? Yeah, I know it's starting, so we'll not keep running. So we'll start slowly, and then we'll keep slowly building on top of it each tool or each knowledge. So if anyone additional details, I think you have that, but let me put the details again. If you want to again register, confirm. So yeah, these are the details. So please have any questions, reach out to them and register. Okay. I think everyone can see the message in the chat right now. Yes, you can talk to them. There is a phone number. Uh, yeah, there's a phone number there. You can talk to them, call them and talk to them. Yes. If you want to talk to me also, yes, you can ask them. We can talk. That is fine. You can call them. Yes, you can talk. We can talk. If you anyone wants to talk to me also, yes, you can call them. We can have a call. That is fine.
Sir, in case of doubt in the session, out of session, not in that 2 hours, later on, if I got some any issues or questions, like how I will be communicating, like any support from you, like before the next class?
Yes. Yes. So yeah, I think we can have what you call you can drop a mail because right, it's not easy, right? Because you obviously will get something screenshot, something you'll run some command. You can't explain in a call something, right? Or in a WhatsApp message, right? You can drop a mail, I'll respond. Or if it's something within WhatsApp, we can put in a WhatsApp group. So but yeah, I think WhatsApp group also will be available. So you can post it there. If others who are working or myself, we can respond. Or if it is something like you can't put it in a WhatsApp message, you can write a mail.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. If you don't have any questions, we can end the session. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.